2024 regular meeting.
So, second.
It's been properly moved and second that we'll accept the minutes for regular meeting January 16, 2024. All in favor, let it be known by vote aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Minutes approved. Approve a called meeting minutes from January 22nd, 2024. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we approve the called meeting minutes January 22nd, 2024. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. It appears we have no speaker appearances today.
That's correct.
All right, good. We have a few lined up for, I would say, department heads and such, or in department. So downtown development director report, Monica. Okay, I see her back there. All right, Monica is our downtown development person.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hope everybody's doing well. This is for the last quarter of 23. Y'all have a copy. I'm just going to hit some highlights real quick. When we were working on the Christmas decorations, we've had a lot of interest in the old Christmas tree. If y'all remember it, the one that used to be over 7th Street. Well, we still have the tree. So we're going to start this summer, reaching out to the public, maybe some businesses, and see if we can raise enough money to refurbish that tree. We cannot put it back in the air because DOT won't allow you to put it on U.S. highway in the air, but we'll find somewhere to put it. So we'll probably start that about May or June, so we can raise that money. The other thing is the 4th annual Rail Fan Festival went wonderful. We had about 400 people down there, so it turned out real good. Sam Shortline ran shuttles, and I think he sold almost 300 tickets, so that worked out real well. The holiday trains with Sam Shortline, for those that don't know, he runs all of his holiday trains from downtown. He had about 3,500 people over 2 weekends riding the train, so that's pretty interesting. They've added arts and craft vendors and a couple of food trucks and things, so that's pretty interesting. Spooktacular went extremely well again. Several hundred people attended that. We did have a new event this year. Kiwanis Club has gotten involved. I do want to thank the chief for police chief for allowing Lisa Odom to help us with that event. She does a fabulous job. We have a new restaurant downtown, Slammin' Sammy's. If you haven't been, it's in the old Cordele Bank building on the bottom floor. Good sandwiches and soup, so y'all check them out. The Alamo House, the Phase 2 hazardous materials report has been completed and submitted to the property owner. He is looking for and has spoken to someone to be his event coordinator. He'll have an event space in that property. And he's had to hire a new contractor, so that's been done. He's currently looking for somebody that could do like a coffee shop, bakery items in the morning, and maybe in the afternoon, like charcuterie boards, or it'll be in the lobby of the boutique motel. So he's looking for someone for that. So that continues, that project. They should start this year. Don't know when just yet. We have completed our yearly assessment, which is always takes weeks to prepare. So as soon as we get the impact reports from that, I'll be sharing that. Usually they come about March or April. So we're working on a new event for this coming weekend. So if anybody has any questions, we'll do that now. If not, that's my report.
That was a warning. She had dancing.
Oh, was that it? Okay. Those that know me know I do need a timer. Any questions?
Any questions for Monica? Thank you. All right, up next we have the municipal court.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Blake Brantley. I am the municipal court solicitor here for the city of Cordele. I've been the solicitor for a little over 4 years now, and I've really enjoyed getting to know all the municipal court personnel is in addition to the police officers and state patrolmen around here. It's been a very, very great experience. I've worked in lots of municipal courts over the years. This one has got to be one of the most efficient, if not the most efficient. It runs really well. We've got some great clerks here, great judge, and great public defender, and I've just really enjoyed it, and I look forward to the future. Hopefully another 4 years, or however long as y'all are willing to keep.
Any questions for the solicitor?
Sure. Well, as a solicitor, is sometimes referred to as a prosecutor. It is different than a district attorney. I'm an appointed official, but we prosecute cases that range anywhere from DUIs to possession of marijuana to city ordinance violations, disorderly house or disorderly yard, things of that nature. A lot of what I do for the city of Cordele is just managing. We do get a few defense attorneys in here, and so I do make some phone calls. We have a lot of filings that happen. I have to sort those out, and then we have an arraignment on the second Tuesday of each month, and we have a trial day on the fourth Tuesday of each month. So a lot of that is coordinating with different members of the police department, sometimes with other people that might have an interest in the case, and preparing those cases for trial, seeing them through to the end of the resolution. Things like that, things that you might picture, that you might have in your head that you've seen on TV, that a prosecutor would do. It's just not quite as interesting as what you see on TV. Sometimes it is, but y'all probably know about those times. Usually it's just basic traffic cases, something boring.
I know with we're putting a lot of emphasis on codes. Here lately, that's for our codes, people being spread out in our community now. Will that how will that affect what you do? Will those cases be referred to you as well?
Well, I've had a meeting with the city manager. I guess that was about a year ago, maybe something like that. And so we had discussed potentially trying to get a little more aggressive, for lack of a better word, with some blighted properties. But as I'm sure you may know, it's just not that simple as to go after these property owners when the property falls into a state of disrepair, because it starts costing the taxpayers money right out of the gate. So it's one of those things that you don't really have knowledge of the situation. It sounds like a good idea. Let's go over there. Let's hold them accountable. But really, when it comes down to brass tacks, it's just not that easy. So, it could affect my caseload a little bit, but I don't anticipate much, because there's just, quite frankly, only a limited amount what not only Cordele, but really any city can do. It just depends on how bad you want something done and how much money you want to spend on it. But as far as like other violations, dogs running around loose, property owners not keeping their property clean, that kind of comes and that ebbs and flows as well. So, and it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, it doesn't really affect our caseload that much.
Any other questions?
One thing I will add is that we did meet over a year ago, but there are properties that we need to move forward on, and the first part of that is holding the taxpayer, responsible for the upkeep of the property. So we do need to start moving those cases forward.
Any other questions for our city solicitor? Any questions? Sir, is this your first time before the commission to address the public?
I've met several of the commission members, but as far as like actually being here on a meeting day, I guess it's my first time.
Okay. What's the purpose of you being here today? I'm just a little bit confused.
I was just told, I was asked, I believe, by the city manager to come.
All right. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
All right.
My name is Dustin Land, and I'm a defense attorney in Ashburn. I've been the public defender, I think, for about 6 years here in Cordele. Generally during court, I come on arraignment day to speak with people to help facilitate plea deals. Judge Wright will ask me to speak to someone. Mr. Brantley will ask me to speak to someone, I'll talk to anybody that wants to talk to an attorney before they enter a plea. It's probably the most functional court I go to as far as how it works and how it flows. We don't have a lot of continuances, I would say. I get along with everybody here, the clerk, assistant clerk, judge. That's about all there is to it. I would echo everything Mr. Brantley said about working together and moving things forward. Flows pretty good. I'll answer any questions y'all have.
Any questions for the public defender? Were you also asked to be here by the city manager?
Judge Wright and the city manager, I think, emailed us, and we got our calendars together, so yeah.
Thank you. All right. I guess that leaves the judge.
Good morning. I'm Rusty Wright. I'm a local boy. I grew up here. I left in 1967, one step ahead of the draft. Took me about 15 years to come back. I entered into private practice in 1980, doing primarily criminal defense. In the middle 90s, I kind of drifted over into traffic work. Found it was a little less stress on me. All I had to worry about was somebody losing their driver's license. And been at it pretty much ever since. We have been trying to get before the court for the last 2 or 3 months, just to introduce ourselves and show our faces. It's just today was the first day we could work it out. The other 2 attorneys in court are still in private practice. They have full-time loads. They are booked months in advance because of court appearances. So today was just the first time we could all get together and be here. I'm going to brag on my staff. It's not hard to find lawyers to do this job. It's hard to find experienced lawyers to do this job. There's a lot of hungry lawyers out there. But to find some with these 2 gentlemen's level of experience is a little bit unusual. They do a good job. The one thing I'm not sure that people realize is the function of the solicitor or the prosecutor in court. He is basically the band leader. A judge cannot simply change a case. The law doesn't allow it. But what the law does allow is for the judge to take the recommendation of the prosecuting official. And Mr. Brantley is the prosecuting official. He talks to people. They may not want to fully defend the case. It may be a situation of, yeah, Judge, I was speeding, but I wasn't going that fast. Mr. Brantley can negotiate that with them and reach a settlement with them that keeps the calendar moving and keeps us from having to try every case. This court, like any other court, we couldn't possibly try every case that comes to court. We'd be here 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The 2 most important people in this court is Ms. Walker and Ms. Scott. Crook, excuse me, Ms. Crook. I've been going to municipal courts for about 30 years now. I can tell you we've got the 2 best municipal court clerks in this state, period. I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody's got.
Any questions for the judge?
I don't have any questions, but just listening to why would y'all be here, I believe it was Commissioner Owens who recommended that this meeting take place. If I remember in the meeting.
I did, because we had heard names, and we never met the people. And that was the reason why, we wanted to come, because I think this is my first time, actually seeing, well, I know Judge Wright, of course, but it's the first time meeting the other 2, so, and I felt it was something that we needed to see because we were voting on, we were talking about their pay and different things like that and choosing them, and we had never seen it before. And I think the public, unless they had come to the court, they had never actually seen it, so.
Ms. Reddy, we've been trying to work this out since about November, December, something like that. It's just like I said earlier, the other 2 lawyers have court appearances. When the judge tells you to be in court, he's not asking you to show up if you don't have anything else going on. He's telling you to be there. And that's usually months ahead of time. So it's really to accommodate their schedule that it took this long.
Any further questions for the judge? Judge, I have a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Do you know who Derek Bell is?
Derek Bell, I know the name, but I could not tell you.
Have you ever read any Derek Bell literature?
Not that I'm aware of.
He's a permanent black leader scholar.
Mhm.
Most people know him. As I said before, when I came to your court, on the several trips that I came to I am concerned about diversity. Research says that when people get an opportunity to hire somebody, they hire people that look like them. I don't think there was any um, consciousness to what the city's demographic is when hiring. There are some unconscious biases that I believe that I heard from people that went on in the court. When I came myself and had a very personal experience with the court, I found that case to be true myself. So I am not pleased with the court, and as much as you all show up here and say how good and efficient you all are, I have concerns of diversity and fair treatment in the court, and I'm going to stand on that. But I appreciate you all taking the time to be here. You can have a seat. Thank you. All right, we'll move into our department heads report. Mr. Bridges.
Good morning.
So the sales tax receipts report is in your packet. You've got the last of, the three payments we got, the local options for December. Special purpose was for November, and the transportation special purpose was for December. So that only leaves one more collection for the year 23. That's all I have.
Any questions for finance? How you doing? You all right?
I'm good.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you. Next up, fire. I believe we have our deputy chief here today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Chief Alligator is attending the fire service legislative day and dinner at the state capitol today. So I'm here in his place. I would first like to thank the taxpayer, the city commission, and for the giving us the ability to move forward with the fire department. The city manager, chief, we've been working hard toward getting a lot of things done in the fire department. Things are beginning to come more and more in place. I thank all for your input and your support. The first thing I have is the reporting period for December 27th, 23, the 23rd through January the 29th, 24. We had a total calls of 54. We have one structure fire, 4 rest fire, rubbish type fires, 3 electrical shorts. As far as smoke investigations and odor removals, we've had 2. We had 16 fire alarms, 18 medical assists, 1 motor vehicle accident, and 9 other calls are classified as other. We are in the process now of doing all of our testing. We completed the annual ladder testing and maintenance, which includes 509 feet of ground ladders from engine 1, 2, and 4, and ladder 1 and ladder 3. We also had tested the 75-foot ladder on ladder 1 and the 50-foot ladder on ladder 3, and they all passed. And we've completed annual testing and maintenance on the AMPUS extrication tools. And the hose and the fittings on that particular set of tools, after 10 years, the company recommends that they're replaced. So those have been ordered to be replaced. We also held a quarterly command staff meeting on January 17th at Station 1 and discussed the 2024 goals and some in-service training with the officers, shift officers. We also attended pre-construction meetings for Chris County Hospital expansion and Murphy Oil. Chief attended the traffic incident management class which includes multi-agencies, a multi-agency event at EOC. We have several other things that have to be tested until the end of June, which will be pump testing, hose testing, and SCBAs and things like of that nature. But we're in the process of getting all those things tested, and hopefully everything will pass this year. We'll be in good shape with those with our equipment. That's all I have.
Any questions for fire? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next is housing and urban development, Ms. Control. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, Chairman.
Good.
Board of Commissioners. In my report this morning, the first item is the Cordele Planning and Zoning Commission and the Coast Department signed for approval of the land plat for property located on East 8th Avenue and Hickory Street to be split into 5 land parcels. Property is owned by Mr. Cecil Simmons. And our Board of Zoning and Appeals, has scheduled a public hearing meeting for a post-sign variance request from Chris Regional Hospital properties located on East 16th Avenue. And for historic preservation, we have no new cases for that. And CHIP program, CHIP 28 grant program, the Southwest Georgia Regional Commission grant administrator, Ms. Brenda Wade, has compiled information documents for the 2024 CHIP grant application. And that grant application was completed and submitted on January 31st. And that was the due date, and it was in by the due date, so we're proud of that. And our Economic Development Revolving Loan Fund, we still have the 5 loans that are open. And no new loan applications have been submitted. And our CDBG 2020 Sewer Improvement Project, Public Works Department has advised that the work at the McLeod Subdivision Sewer Improvement Project has been completed. And our CHIP program, Miss Brenda Wade sent an email. You all don't have this, I'm sorry. Sent an email to us, said, here you go. City of Cordele Grant CHIP program application confirmed. Thanks for allowing the Southwest Georgia Regional Commission to write your CHIP grant application. Please note that the CHIP grant award are scheduled to be announced in late April. If you have any questions, please let her know. She just wanted to let you all know that she appreciates that. And that's about all I have.
Any questions for housing and urban development? Thank you for getting that in time.
Yes, sir.
And also, congratulations on completing the sewer job in McLeod
Yes, sir.
subdivision. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, municipal court.
The January report, we had a total of 119 cases, 103 traffic, 16 criminal. I had 5 bench warrants issued, 23 license suspensions. We took in a total of $33,700 in fines, probation fees. We have 0 defendants incarcerated and 0 sentenced.
All right, any questions from municipal court?
I would like to know what's the cost for a person to be incarcerated per day? Do you
I want
know
to say
that,
it's
Judge?
like 25.
The last I checked, Ms. Reeves, and this has been several years ago, I think it was around $37 a day.
And that would cost you.
And that was a while back.
I can get the information for you because we do receive invoice from the sheriff, from the county for inmates incarcerated through the city.
My question was, because whatever the cost is, if they go to jail from this court, it costs the taxpayers, right? The reason I ask that, because constantly looking over the report, and I see that where there's no jail time given. I see y'all are finding alternatives to keep people out of jail. I think that's a good thing. I think that's an awesome thing.
Usually our jail days are like when they come to court and they're sent to jail immediately from court. Judge allows them to do time on the weekends or they do probation. So that's how our jail days got cut down. We don't do 90 days or 30 days right off the bat in court and you start immediately. He allows them to, do it on the weekend or convert some of it to probation. The stuff that the state mandates that we do, then we do that, the jail days, but he allows them to do it on the weekends.
And being here for close to 12 years, I can remember the previous courts. There was always somebody going to jail for this court, and we would always have to pay something. I just want to highlight that. Thanks.
All right, any further questions from the municipal court? All right, thank you as well. All right, police chief, codes.
I'll start with the police department. Some numerical breakdown from December 27th to January 29th. You'll notice in your packets there might be a couple of blanks as far as community contacts and total calls for service. At the time we ran the report, there was a hiccup with our system. I have those numbers, and I'll read them off if you want to fill them in when I get to them. Our Part 1 crimes, we had 41. Homicides, we had 1. There was an arrest on for that. Just an update on that. Robberies, we did have 1. Motor vehicle thefts, there was 4. All 4 of those vehicles were recovered. 2 adults and 1 juvenile were arrested for that. Aggravated assaults, we had a total of 7. 1 juvenile was arrested. Larcenies, we had a total of 21. That's thefts. 4 of those were entering autos, 8 shoplifting, 3 arrests, and 9 were other thefts. Burglaries, we had 7. 4 were residential and 3 were businesses. Our Part 2 crimes, we had a total of 58. Incidents reported, 171. Community contacts, a total of 69. Citations issued, 83. Warnings were 80. And our total calls for service were 1267. As far as departmental news, we had Sergeant Brad Exum. He started yesterday. We're excited to have him on board and looking forward to his knowledge and experience bringing it to the department. Our department has also been invited to the Pre-K participation in Transportation Day. That's going to be on February 9th. There will be an officer there with their patrol vehicle, as well as the animal control will be attending. We're also hosting a Valentine's Day bingo at Woodvale residents, for the Woodvale residents on February 14th. And we're also hosting Coffee with the Cop February 22nd from 8 to 9 at Fast Stop. That's all for the police department. If there's any questions?
Any questions for police?
I just have one.
Yes.
On the motor vehicles that were stolen, I know one vehicle was stolen twice. Is that?
That is correct, actually.
That is that. Okay. So is that?
Keys were in the vehicle twice.
So it was stolen twice. Is that actually 3 vehicles, or does it count?
It actually counts twice because it's a separate incident.
Separate incident. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was correct. The keys were left in the vehicle twice.
Pretty nice vehicle.
I'll leave it at that. If there's no more questions for the police department, we'll move to codes. This is a breakdown for codes for the same reporting period. You'll notice some different categories this time around. We moved to a different reporting system, so we're working out some of the kinks. I don't like how some of these are categorized, so I'll just highlight a couple of them. Abandoned vehicles, 22. C&D, construction and demolition, we had 1. Certificate of occupancy, total of 3. Inspections, there were 12. Disorderly property were 4, and tampering with utilities, we did have 1. And also, as far as weeds, junk, and things like that on a residence, there were 47, so we had a lot of those. I think some of that was the transition with the different waste management, the transition we had there. As far as departmental news, we're continuing with waste management and the removal of these old trash bins, working with express disposal, and addressing customers as far as placing the trash cans or not placing the trash cans in the alley. We're still having some issues with that. Not too bad though. And then we're also coordinating, trying to get additional training. There's some training coming up in March for code enforcement, so we're looking forward to sending them to that training, getting them up to speed. That's all I have with codes.
Any questions for codes?
Yes, sir, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I need to update on the peanut mills in the corner of Generator Drive, 6th, 7th, and 8th Avenues.
Okay.
I got some complaints again about the wheels going to tear down.
Yeah.
I noticed they put 12 bowls up in the last 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know what's going on with this building, sir.
Okay. You want to know as far as what is?
Codes or what's going on with the city with it? Are you up to date on this one?
Yes. What I'll do is I'll ask them and get you up to date as far as today what's going on with it. I know they're working on it.
City attorney can provide it.
The 10, I think, is gone.
You can let it out, please, sir.
What are you saying?
She cannot hear you. You want to
The
pass?
10, I think, Commissioner, is down. I think it was erroneously dismissed.
Dismissed.
Municipal court, and so we got to refile.
Do we need to entertain another attorney or someone who can handle
No,
this? This is my 9th year, sir.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. This was not done by the attorney. It was done by Mr. Minner when the attorney was not present.
Let me put some questions to you, sir. If something happened to a citizen in this town or a district in this town, and that 10 lied to one car, they tore off the car, they killed someone, who will be responsible? That 10 or the state of Cordele?
The gin.
Huh?
The gin.
The 10. Well, we need some time for that one. I'm tired of begging, I'm tired of pleading.
I think the 10 is down. Is that true?
That 10's on that still flying. You don't live over there. I live in this neighborhood. And something has to be done.
Yes, ma'am.
Who dismissed it? Did you authorize dismissal? What happened?
No, we did not. It was a miscommunication, it appears, where the attorney wasn't there. He was supposed to appear at 12. The court had an early session for some reason, and one of our staff members addressed the court, the judge at least, and he dismissed it.
Well, something needs to be done. I need to right away. I don't want this to be another 4 years, okay?
And that issue with the staff member is being addressed. It was one of Code's staff member that is being addressed.
Was it a new person that just assigned to me?
No.
No, no, ma'am.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'd like to pass you. All right. Any further questions about codes? Thank you, Chief. All right. Public Works. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are y'all this morning?
Pretty good.
Good morning. Good to see you. I'm going to be filling in for Steve this morning. He is not feeling well. Public Works, things are running smooth as they normally do. We just started back this past Saturday doing the weekend work, letting the employees do some weekend work, trying to catch up on things on Saturday. And Cemetery and Parks headed it up this past Saturday, and they did some right-of-way clearing in alleys. 15 and a half alley between 6th and Owens, and 14 and a half alley between 7th Street and Hickory. The gas department has begun compiling information needed for the 7100 and the EIA 176 reports at the first of the year. We have in the street department, we have TC and I, we're the only, as far as I know, the only city employees right now that are certified to dig around gas pipelines. So we've been loaning ourselves out to the gas department because they don't have a backhoe operator. So we have done that some in the past 2 weeks. Also, I wanted to mention something was just said about the waste management trash containers that's still left out there. I was told yesterday that we are to get the addresses when we come across them, so we can get them to express disposal and then they can make sure that they get picked up. So we're going to assist in making sure that all these are located. The 2023 LMIG work, is the actual work itself is finally completed. We were waiting on them to raise 2 more manholes on Midway Road. They did that last week. And, so the actual work on everything has been completed, and we've done a drive-through. We can't find anything else that needs to be, there's no work they need to come back and redo. So they did an excellent job on the streets that they paved. At Gillespie Gardens, they're getting in real close to the end of that project to where they're fixing to start paving, getting ready to pave 12th Street. When we talked to the superintendent on site, he told me we're going to put about 1.5 inches of asphalt down, and that was going to be it. No, you're going to do more than that. Come to find out, in the site plans, it calls for 8 inches of GAB base and 2.5 inches of 19mm super pave. So we're going to hold them to that, and that's going to get done. And also, there's a sidewalk over there that that contractor had put in, and they put it in wrong because there's a place where the gutter is about 10, 11 inches below the sidewalk. Their suggestion was, let's just put a handrail. Our suggestion is, no, y'all pull it out and do it right. So we're going to hold their feet to the fire and make sure that everything that they do, anything on city right of way, is done to our engineer's specifications. So it will be done right, I assure you. Let's see. And also, y'all probably have in your packet where there's a couple of items that we're just waiting on as far as Gov Deals goes. We're waiting on the money from Gov Deals. As soon as we get that, the city gets that from Gov Deals, then those items that were sold will be officially closed out. That's about all I have for Public Works, unless y'all have any questions.
Any questions for Public Works?
Yes, sir, I do. On the LME paving, I've always been curious, how are you keeping up with, it just seems like it'd be easier to pave one whole street as opposed to pieces of the street. Like we're like paving a couple blocks. And I don't know, I think the citizens would be able to see a better improvement if we resurface the whole street as opposed to a piece of a street. But also, how are you keeping up? It's like we're piecemealing the city with paving projects I'm very confused on how we keep up with that.
We have a list of we ride the streets and we look for the worst sections in town. Okay, we only have a certain amount of money per year from DOT for us to use for LMIG projects. So we try to pick out the worst ones. Sometimes that's a block, sometimes it's 2 blocks, because we try to make the money go as far as it can. I try to pick out streets that don't have any curb and gutter, because if you don't have to mill, then your LMIG money goes further when you can just overlay. And so I agree. I would like to jump in there and just do a whole street. Every one we do, I'd like to do the whole street. But like I say, LMIG, we don't have to get just so much. If y'all would like to come up with a lot more money, we'll do a lot more paving. We would like for y'all to come up with a lot more money.
I definitely get that.
But our hands are kind of tied as far as the money we have to spend. So we're just trying to get some of the absolute worst streets, high traffic areas. Just trying to look to the future. And there's some out there that need it. You can ride by and say, well, this one needs it worse than that one. This one has far less traffic on it than this one. You have to kind of weigh it out. And so we try to do what's worst in town.
And the road scraper, is the road scraper working or not that we use?
It's working. We don't have a motor grader operator. My intention is Soon as we get all of the trash out of the alleys, then we can go in and we can trim back the alleys because they've got all the overgrowth. We've got to do that and then put somebody full-time on the motor grader to go ahead and maintain the actual alley. Because whenever we have somebody call in and say, well, this alley needs repair, but we spend a half a day picking up trash and cutting back before we can ever get the motor grader in there. Once we get the trash out and the overgrowth taken care of, then we'll be able to hire somebody full-time, put them on the motor grader, and that's all they'll do.
See, this is what I want the citizens to hear. Our problem is the trash compounded the alleys where we couldn't get in there with the motor grader to maintain the alleys. So the alleys came off a regular maintenance schedule.
Right.
So that's what led to the alleys being narrowed, which led us to go into curbside, having to go curbside
Right.
until we could get everything out. So possibly, I'm just saying possibly, we might, once we get all this situated, we might could relook at our trash service. Possibly. I know the contract signed and all this stuff, but a lot of citizens are extremely upset with the alley issues. But I wanted to see that it was a compounded situation that compounded on us from trash service. So we're working on it, and we'll get the alleys back on a regular maintenance schedule. And the next part is we name the alleys, so that allows us to use LMIG funds to maintain the alleys.
The purpose for naming the alleys is that gave us additional money. Because we used to didn't have the alleys included in LMIG, and whenever they included that, we had to put up the stop signs and the street marking signs, and that gave us additional dollars. Right, because it's based on the mileage and the population and that type of thing. So that gave us more actual miles, and they're considered streets, even though they're alleys. That's what DOT considers.
They're considered streets.
Uh-huh.
That's what I want the citizens to hear. The city does have a plan to get these alleys back to the park.
And then here in the past few years, like even when sewer department has to go into an alley, because the majority, I'd say 95 to 98% of your sewer is in the alley. And whenever they would go in there and they need to dig and there's big piles of trash, then, I don't know how many times I got called from the superintendent saying, can you send the grapple truck over here to pick this up so we can dig? So we're having to move trash just so they can do their job. So it's not just with the motor grader, it's with other departments as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any more questions for Public Works? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, social media and marketing.
Morning, Honorable Chairman, members of the City Commission. You have my report in your packet. I will add that you will remember that in April of 23, this commission entered into an agreement with CGI Digital to produce a series of promotional videos. As you know, this particular company will write, produce, shoot footage, take care of everything that needs to be done to produce this for videos, subject matter that we choose, such as a welcome, healthy living, education, community organizations. We had an initial introductory call with CGI yesterday. We'll have another call to get more in depth tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So just wanted to let you know that particular project that you approved back in April of 23 is getting up and going, and looking forward to working with CGI on that project. And other than that, I don't have anything further. If this commission has any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
Have you all determined who and what you'll be highlighting with this project?
Well, they suggest, and we'll be talking more about that tomorrow, but they suggest things like a welcome video, healthy living, education, community organizations, those kinds of things. But it's definitely up to this commission too. If there are other pieces of subject matter this commission would like to have addressed, these videos run. The welcome video is about 30 seconds, but the other videos run in length of about 2.5, 3 minutes. And so if there's anything that this commission, this city manager, or the city itself wants to see in those videos, we definitely have input into those things.
Oh, okay. Any further questions for social media and marketing. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
UCNT, Ms. Debbie. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm glad to see the sunshine.
That's good.
It's been cold.
I know.
Y'all have my report in your packet. I didn't have a whole lot on the report because we didn't have any numbers ready, but we treated 56,500,000 gallons of drinking water, and we treated over 100 million wastewater gallons. So that's pretty substantial right off the get-go in January. We only had 3.2 inches of rain in January, but I think most of that came the last week of the month. And anyway, we've had a problem at the wastewater treatment plant. I believe somebody dumped something toxic into the sewer system. It killed all our bugs. You know, it's an all-natural process at the treatment plant. We don't treat things by chemicals and other things. So the bugs are what treats the actual sewage. And we were out of permit for ammonia, which we've never been in the almost 38 years I've been here. It absolutely decimated our plant. So we're getting it back up and running, but it's been slow. It's been about 3 weeks, and I hope I live to find out who dumped this, because it's a federal offense and it's a felony. They just really have wrecked our world out there. But anyway, this too we shall overcome, and it's getting better, but it has been a tough 3 weeks. But other than that, we completed our preventative maintenance program on our generators, and the biggest problem we found was dead batteries and battery chargers that weren't working properly. We're getting all that repaired, so everything will be up and great if we ever need them. We did sample the second time for the UCMR5 requirement by EPA. That's where they're testing for PFAS. People have heard that in the news everywhere, and lithium. It's about 30 different things they test for. We did it back in July, and everything they tested for came back as not detected, which was awesome. We hope this will be as good. And that's about it. If y'all have any questions.
Any questions for UCNT? Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you for everything you all do at the water. I know it's a lot sometimes to keep all water safe, but I appreciate it. Yeah, y'all work hard. All right. And human resource. I know we got an announcement. That's why I held you last. Filling a critical position. So we'll get a time opportunity for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. You have my report in your packet. Just going to highlight just a few items on here. During the month of January, we held our annual open enrollment period. That did run the entire month. In addition, during that time, we had representatives from our insurance carrier here to assist employees with any questions they may have with changes in their medical insurance. In that same vein, all the form details for the 1094, 1095 filings for the 2023 tax year were completed and submitted on January the 4th. On January the 10th, Chris Ryan of Local Government Risk Management Services conducted a safety inspection of the police, fire, public works, and treatment plant. Right now, we've not received his recommendation back, but just going around with him, I don't think there's going to be any violations that can't be resolved in a day's time with just a little bit of housekeeping. Some of the things I saw were dead batteries and emergency exit lightings. We had some gas canisters that were chained, however they were not locked. So nothing significant found in our safety inspection. So I'm very proud of the employees out there keeping safety in the forefront. As Chief Hurd mentioned earlier, we do have a new sergeant in the police department. He came on board on Monday, January the 5th. January 2023, all the rosters for the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, along with Pipeline and Hazardous Material Safety Administration, testing rosters. This is for drug and alcohol testing for those covered positions. Q1 2024 roster was submitted. And then in addition to filling a key position, which Ms. Redding is going to speak about in just a moment, we also have a new part-time refuse facility attendant position at Public Works. This position is intended to provide somewhere convenient for the citizens to deposit refuse without having to go to the landfill. Also provides a weekend option, so we're hoping not only will it be convenient to the citizens of the Cordele, it'll also help us with some of our improper disposal of some of these items. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for HR?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Maurice Hill, the Community Advancement Manager. David and I had several interviews, but Mr. Hill brings a lot of experience. I think he will do well in this position, and he's already familiar and has been working in the Cordele community. Again, we had great candidates. Two were definitely at the top, but Mr. Hill has experience in planning and zoning. It's perfect timing because we are in the midst of our comprehensive plan, and he's had experience with comprehensive plans as well. But I will turn it over and allow Mr. Hill to just introduce himself to the commission and to the community.
Well, I do thank you, Ms. Redding. Hello to the commission. I've had an opportunity to meet a few of you in different settings. One was over with Monica Robinson at the Chris Community Action. And I come from Putnam County. Originally, I'm from Washington, D.C. I've been in Georgia since 2005. I just retired from the school system. I put 10 years in the school system in Putnam. But while in Putnam, I sat on the regional commission, the Middle Georgia Regional Commission. And what I was able to see is that there are a number of resources that are available to communities. But if nobody goes to the commission meetings, you don't know about the resources that are available for your community. So that's one of the things that I look to try and do, work with some of the commissions on that. I did work with Putnam to do their 5-year comprehensive plan. And in talking to Ms. Redding, they want to do a update the 5-year plan for Cordele. And one of the things she mentioned was being specific to what, because right now, if you look at the comprehensive plan, it's an overview. We want to redo housing. I want to be able to work with her to specifically say 6th Street through 9th Street, phase 1, so that we are attacking the blight issue specifically. I work with the emergency management team for Putnam. Just came off of planning and zoning for Putnam. I was the president for Habitat for Humanity in Putnam County, and I also served on the Performing Arts Board. I had a chance to work with Ms. Rosie over there at the community center, as well again as Ms. Robinson. We were working, Ms. Smith is the oldest living person in Chris right now. We were working with her granddaughter to try and renovate the house and do some repairs for her. She's, like I said, the oldest living person. So I had a couple people ask, well, how much are we getting paid? I said at 103, she shouldn't have to pay for anything. So we're in the process of trying to put together a program where we can go in and do some renovations. Yes, sir.
She's 104 now.
104, that's right, because she got, yes. Keisha told me, yes, her birthday was yesterday. So, I'm just giving you a little bit of background as to the fact that I have been here in Cordele. With the blighted issue, the blighted property issue, a lot of times, especially coming from DC, you have gentrification. You have people like hedge funds come in and buy up everything. And the next thing you know, the property values are way out of line for the community. So the goal would be to work with the current property owners to get loans to renovate the property, especially if these properties are rental properties, because there are very creative ways to get these things done. Another thing that we'll be working on, and this is why I met with Ms. Rosie, was to bring in STEM programs, some activities for the kids that are 21st century opportunities. A company called 21st Century Partnership put together the Innovation Center at Warner Robins. I met them at the Regional Commission. So the goal would be to bring them in, figure out how they put this program together for Warner Robins, and then mirror it for Cordele. so that the kids that are coming through the Cordele system have 21st century skills, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to matter. And Land Bank is one of the programs I'll be working with. I am familiar with land banks, but at the end of the day, I have colleagues that have been working like in Macon B, so I can refer to them, give me some guidance, so that we make sure that when we set up this land bank, one, it's effective, two, it's doing what it needs to do, three, it's helping the community. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to entertain.
Any questions?
No, sir, I had the honor of meeting Mr. Hill last fall.
Yes.
It was a very interesting and very rewarding meeting with he, Andy Smith, and another gentleman by the name.
That was, yes, that was her husband, yes.
Thank y'all for coming to proceed.
Indeed, my pleasure.
I want to say welcome to Cordele.
Thank you, sir.
I also want to say welcome to Cordele and look forward to what you can help us do. It's obvious you bring a wealth of knowledge, much needed in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, the key is bringing the resources, knowing where to get them. Because if they don't currently exist, that doesn't mean they're not available. It just means that we didn't know where to go get them. So my goal is to try and go and get those resources and bring them back to the table so that we can start doing what she hired me to do, community advancement.
I do know that comprehensive plan is a lot more important than a lot of people realize.
Absolutely.
Because you're supposed to take a page out of your comprehensive plan when you apply for a grant.
Absolutely.
And so you're not supposed to have grants that create something in your comprehensive plan. You're supposed to already have that
in the plan.
to apply
Correct.
for.
Correct.
And that really helps you move forward with the grant process.
Indeed.
Our comprehensive plan was, like you said, a very overview. So I look forward to it being a lot more specific to help us.
Indeed.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Just to give you a little background history into this position, it was one of the positions that coming in I felt like the city needed. It was one I wrote up and created. It has taken on a different take and form than where I originally had envisioned for the position. But I think I'm comfortable hearing what you had to say today, because I felt like when I wrote it up with the duties and responsibility, got away from resources and focused more on the land bank. So I'm comfortable hearing today that you understand the critical need is called community advancement manager for a reason. The goal is to advance the community in various ways, not just housing. Housing is one of the ways. I think it is, when I originally wrote up, it's almost everything that I want to accomplish as chair. So I am very ecstatic that the position is filled, and I believe that a lot could happen with this position, because the city of Cordele has to move forward. We have our issues up here, and the goal is you all, the civil servants that do the day-to-day, are much more effective in getting the day-to-day done than we could ever be. So you're filling a position that when the people heard what I had to offer them and sought to elect me, probably 75% of that has went into that position.
Gotcha.
So not to put too much pressure on you, but I believe you can handle it. But I am just excited, and any way I can support, any way Ms. Watkins can support, any way my community contacts can support, we're here for you. And sometimes that's going to happen outside of here.
Yes.
That's going to happen outside of the most important thing, as you know, with all the work you've done, is making those community contacts. And I'm going to tell you this, most people know me for being blunt. A lot of the people that you would meet with, pretty sure, meeting with Ms. Watkins, I can already understand you're grounded in the community. But a lot of people And so the only thing I would say to you, seeing the city of Cordele from a child living in public housing, leaving, working in other cities and around other cities, living in other cities, and even if you go back to some of the regional commission reports, the University of Georgia report, it all has came back to see leadership, whether it's us, whether it's the county, or whether it's people that run other organizations. So I would just challenge you to make sure you're staying in contact with the people who hold the resources, but also the people who fight for resources. Because that's what's going to be the base of the knowledge of how you really get to the root of the problem. Blight is pretty much happening more on one side of town. And we need to understand why. And we need to understand for those people, not necessarily with people who have high office and sit in seats and behind desks is sharing with us. Because I firmly believe they don't have a great understanding of it. So thank you for applying and congratulations for being the community advancement manager. And I look forward to the great work you're going to do.
Indeed, and you know, I take to heart the title,
Right.
because it is community
That's right.
advancement
That's
manager.
right.
So making sure that I connect with the organizations like Monica
Right.
Robinson over there.
Right.
You know, we were looking at trying to buy property to put people in for her for the overnight stays,
Right.
because they were only staying for 3 nights.
Right.
And so as a entity, as a group, we were looking at how, if I total up the money that they're spending for the 3 days, can I get a place for them for the 30 days equal to what they're spending, and then they manage who comes in and out. So it's those kind of things that we're looking to try and do. I won't hold you any longer, but know that I will be working with everybody in the community.
Thank you, sir.
Indeed, thank you.
All right, we're moving to our agenda item, and we only have one for today. Consider and approve the requests for items listed for the executive department to be declared surplus and to allow the city of Cordele to dispose of them items. Do we have a motion for agenda item number one?
So moved. Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we consider and approve agenda item number one. All right, any discussion? Seeing none, we shall proceed to vote. Commissioner Rainey?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Commissioner Owens?
Yes.
Commissioner Shepard?
Yes.
That motion carries. It is approved. All right, city manager report.
Getting an update on our city clerk. I give you all the update. Assistant city clerk give you all the update after.
Thank you.
Good morning. City manager's report for February 6th, 2024. Again, just want to re-emphasize the change in schedule for residential trash cart pickup. Thursday pickup has been moved to Wednesday, and this includes 20th Avenue to 24th Avenue. Friday pickup has been moved to Thursday, and this includes 25th Avenue going south. And the change in schedule will allow for trash service to continue uninterrupted when the service day is moved back one day due to a holiday. So again, Thursday and Friday schedules have been shifted. And then please remember to place the carts out either the night before or no later than 7 a.m. on your scheduled pickup day. Want to announce, and I'm sure everyone knows, that February is Black History Month. And so there are several programs that will be going on throughout that community. And so we will make sure we get that information to you. Reminder on occupation and alcohol renewals. The occupation license, better known as business license, expire at the end of the year and become delinquent if not paid by April 1st. And so after April 1st, there is a penalty that is imposed. So we encourage all business owners to renew their occupation license by April 1st. Alcohol license renewals expires at the end of the year, and so there is no grace period for alcohol license renewals. And then property taxes are due February 12th. And so just want to make sure you all are aware of those deadlines. as stated earlier, the comprehensive plan is very important in planning for the future of Cordele, as well as future land growth and development. And so the deadline for input on the survey is February 9th. Again, the survey is on the city's website, it's on the county's website, and the city of Airview. And so you on the city's website, if you're on the home page, if you go to the bottom right hand of the home page, the survey is there with a QR code, and that information that you enter is sent directly to River Valley and not to the city. So again, the deadline is February 9th. Upcoming meetings, as Ms. Cantrell mentioned, the Board of Zoning Appeals has a meeting scheduled for March 8th, 10 a.m. here in the courtroom. And then the Community Clubhouse Committee approved installing a new floor at the Community Clubhouse, and that work is scheduled to be completed on Thursday, February 8th. And I sent out information regarding the need to schedule a work session. So I don't know if you all have had the opportunity to look at your calendars, but I would like to again request a work session for several items that we need to discuss. And last but not least, we will be closed on President's Day, which is February 19th. The offices will be closed and will reopen on Tuesday, February 20th at 8 a.m. And that's all that I have for today. And you have the meetings and events that I attended in January in your packet. And that's all that I have.
All right. Any questions for the city manager report?
City manager, read in your report, you mentioned, you asked the people when to bring the carts out for garbage pickup. There's been a lot of questions about, do we leave the garbage can there outside the road, or Cole's expecting us to pull the garbage can back?
You're supposed to pull them back up after your trash has been emptied.
That's all I have.
And then in terms of work session, are you all going to send dates, or how do you want to do that?
Whatever's fine for me.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, city manager. City attorney.
No report, thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Any need for executive session?
No.
All right. At this time, we'll call for adjournment of the meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
It's been properly moved and second that we'll adjourn this meeting February the 6th at 10:10 a.m. At 10:10 a.m. All right.